Hi guys, Mr. Murphy again. So we are talking about, let me zip up to the beginning. We are talking about standard 7.rp.3, ratios and proportions, using proportional relationships to solve multi-step ratio percent problems. So we're going to talk a lot about percents today. And if you watched the whole 15-minute video before, you know I did the adding. Now we're doing subtracting a percentage. It's basically the same thing except you're subtracting. So if you understood the last video really well, you probably can skip this whole video. Some of you may need to at least watch a little bit to figure out what's going on. So first you find the percentage and subtract. So if you have a problem, method 1 was convert to a percent, convert the percent to a decimal, multiply the decimal by the original, and subtract the result from the original. So here's our question. Last year, Shemaiah bought a car for $24,000. The value of the car decreases by 8%. How much is the car worth now? So convert the percent to a decimal. So here's the percent. Convert that to a decimal, divide by 100. This is the problem a lot of people have. 8% is 0.08, not 0.8. If you do 0.8, you'll be off by one decimal place all the time. You'll have the same numbers, you'll just be off by a decimal point. So you can correct it later by looking at your number and asking if it's reasonable. All right, so what is 8% of 24,000? So I'm going to take 24,000 times 0.08 and put that in my fancy dancy calculator. When I put that in the calculator, I get 1,920,000. There's 2 decimal points, so $1,920. So that's not our answer. If you had 0.8 instead of 8, you would have had $19,000, which is almost 24,000. So that's how you know it's wrong. This is 8% of $24,000. It is not how much the car is worth right now. The car is worth, it was worth 24,000. Oh, I set my tablet so it won't go off the edge. 24,000 minus $1,920. And that would be, checking my calculator real quick, 24,000 minus 1,920 is $22,080. So the car is worth $22,080. There you go. So that is finding the percentage and then subtracting. So we're going to do the same problem again, only we're going to find the percentage first and then subtract. Now this is slightly different than the first one where we added 100% because we were adding the percentage to it. Now we're taking a percentage away. This is still $24,000. That's still the 100%. I want to decrease by 8%, so I'm going to subtract 8%. So basically, I want to know the value of 92% of the car. So now that I have the new percentage, I'm going to convert to a decimal. So 92%, move the decimal 2 spots over, becomes 0.92. And then I'm going to multiply that by my 24,000. 24,000. times 9.2%. Put that in my calculator. So 24,000 times 0.92, don't get me wrong, becomes $22,080. Exact same price as we had before. Let's try it the third way. Set up a proportion. So a percent is a proportion over 100. Create the equivalent proportion using numbers from the problem. Use algebra to solve. So we're looking for this percent. So that's 8 over 100. And that's going to be equal to 24,000. Now, if you watched the first video, I got it wrong the first time. 24,000 is my 100%. So that's how I know it goes on the bottom. I don't know how much 8% of 24,000 is, so I'm going to put my X on top. I'm going to use algebra to solve this problem. I want to take this 24,000 and this 100 off of the denominator so I have nice numbers. So I'm going to multiply by 24,000 on this side. Stop, I'm hitting buttons. 24,000 on this side. Hold on one second while I fix this. So I have the 24,000 on this side. And I have to do the same thing on this side, so I'm going to multiply by 24,000. I want to get rid of the 100, so I'm going to multiply by 100. Because this is like 8 divided by 100. So the opposite of divided by 100 is multiplied by 100. And on this side, I multiply by 100. 24,000 and 24,000 cancel out. 24,000 divided by 24,000 is 1. So on the left, I have, let me do it over here, 100x. And on the right, 100 divided by 100 cancels out. So I've got 8 times 24,000. So that's going to have 3 zeros. And then 8 times 24, well, 4 times 8 is 32. And 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. So I've got 192,000 on this side equals 100x. Divide by 100 on both sides. The 2 zeros cancel out. The 100s cancel out. I have an x equals 1920. 1,920. So that is the 8%. So I still have to 24,000 minus 1,920. 0, that's going to be an 8. Let's see, 400 becomes, that's a 10. That became a 10 and then was a 9, and that becomes a 3. So 10 minus 2 is 8, 9 minus 9 is 0, and 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 2. So the value of the car is $22,080. And if you wanted to do, instead of 8%, you wanted to do this proportion, x over 24,000 equals 92 over 100. Because 100 minus 8 is 92. That's 92% of 24,000. That should give you, multiply by 24,000 on this side, cancels out on that side, multiply by 100 on both sides, that's 100 equals, let me check the calculator real quick. I shouldn't have had to check the calculator, but 92 times 24, 92 times 24,000 is 2,900,000. 1,208,000. That's 100x on this side. Divide both sides by 100. The 100s cancel out. X equals 22080. The 2 zeros on the end cancel out. That's 22,080. So you get the same number here. 22,080 is the value of the car. So 92% of the value of the car is what we have left, or you can find 8% and subtract it from 24,000. So that's going a little faster. You may have noticed now that there are basically two kinds of problems. Either you're finding a percentage and adding it, or finding a percentage and subtracting it. To become an expert on ratio and percentage problems, you want to do them forwards and backwards. So if I ask for what is 8% of this value, you can find it. But if I give you, if I went back to this problem and said, if the car was $24,000 when I bought it, and now it's worth $22,080, what was the percentage decreased? So you should be able to figure that one out. You could either take this and you'd have 22,000 over 24,000, and then you'd have the x over here and solve for it. We will try some of those problems in a little bit.